Hello and welcome back, everyone. My name is John. I am Orphan Car Garage. I'm located in Abington. That's in the state of Massachusetts, so we're about 30 minutes or so south of Boston. As you could probably tell by now, I've watched my videos of late. We've got a little bit of spring fever here in Abington, and I've been profiling for you a lot of convertibles. And as I say, generally speaking, convertibles are not something that sell well in the dead of winter, especially in New England. However, I have a different take on it. I think it's a great time of year to buy convertibles. They're a great value this time of year. And when you have one of these in your garage, it kind of gives you something to look forward to, springtime. So we're going to profile this beautiful 1963 Ford Galaxie 500 XL convertible for you today. We had a light snowfall over the weekend, and it complements the white, Corinthian white paint on this car just stupendously. Yes, this is a 1963 Ford. This was their full-size offering for that year, and this is the XL model Galaxie 500. There was a Galaxie and there was a Galaxie 500 XL available. A Galaxie 500 and a Galaxie 500 XL. This is the upscale XL. Under the hood is a 390 cubic inch V8. There were several engine options Ford could offer you this year in 1963 for this car, all the way down to, I believe, a straight 6-cylinder engine, which I can't imagine this car being powered by. That would be rather dreadful, I think, to have a straight 6 in this full-size Ford, although I believe it was an option, at least on the lower-end Galaxie, or it may have been standard. This car, of course, as I mentioned, has the 390 cubic inch V8, which moves this car along extremely nicely. So we've got this really nice Corinthian white paint, which was a factory color for this car when it was new in 1963. But what's really striking about the car is the fact that it has a beautiful red interior, and it doesn't get much better than that, if you ask me. When you're talking 1960s cars, 1950s cars, white with a bright red interior is just absolutely outstanding. And in this car, it really pops. Obviously has been redone to a very high standard. This is not original upholstery, but it's an exact reproduction of the original upholstery, and this was not an inexpensive job. So this was done to a very high standard with the correct seat covers. You'll also notice, I'm sure you have already, that this car has the optional bucket seats with center console and console mounted shifter. Automatic transmission there on the floor. Very nice trim, what appears to be replacement emblems on this car when it was restored, and this car was restored at some point in its life. Unfortunately, we don't have a ton of history on this car. It's being sold as part of an estate sale. We are assisting the estate in selling off the small collection of cars that the gentleman has. This was one of those cars. So unfortunately, we don't have a lot of history on it. We do know that the tires, including the spare, were replaced in 2022. They probably have less than 500 miles on them. This car has obviously been repainted to a very nice standard. I'm going to call this paint in this car in general a very nice driver quality car. This is not a car that you're going to bring to a Ford National for concourse points. This is a car that you want to jump into and drive and enjoy and be proud of. But that being said, the paint on this car was done to a very, very nice standard. There's really no orange peel in the car. It has a nice shine to it, very smooth, no runs or ripples. The trim appears to be original. I love these big round taillights that Ford used in the early to mid 1960s. It was the jet age after all, and Ford was definitely touting that with their taillights. We've got dual exhaust coming out of that 390 V8 up front. Really nice trim, emblems. This is a really, really well-presented car. The convertible top on this car is power operated. There's a switch on the dash that I'll show you when we get in. And the top on this car is also red, which is really, really cool. It's a darker color red, and it sets off the car beautifully. Check the pictures out of this car on my website. There are pictures of it with the top raised, showing the condition of the top. It looks like a very, very recent convertible top. Very nice condition. You'll see that again on my website. Decent trim and bezels. Some typical wear here on the top of the bumper. This is, I would imagine, original chrome that's never been replated. But again, very presentable, but not 100-point show car. That's generally not what we sell here at Orphan Car Garage anyway. We like to keep things affordable. We like to keep things in a class of a driver quality car. Cars that the average person can afford, get into and have fun and be part of the hobby. That's one of the reasons why I got into this business. I feel like people in that position were being left out, myself included, for a lot of years. So as you can see, there's no visible rust on this car. We did do a complete magnet test on the car, and full disclosure, the magnet down in this area around the wheel well on both sides from this molding down didn't want to stick too often. So there is definitely some body filler down in here on both sides of the quarter panel from the molding down. Not something that's unusual to see, especially cars in New England. I don't know where the car was originally, but there was definitely some body work performed down there on both sides, but really well done. You don't see a whole lot of waviness or bunched up plastic. I mean, you see a bit here, but I think the molding's bent. Really well done, smoothed out nicely, skimmed out nicely, but full disclosure, there is definitely some body filler in the lower quarter panels on both sides. But other than that, it's a very, very presentable car. Nothing obvious. If you look down there, the sides, very, very well done. Other side, we have the same conclusion. But again, very nicely done. Proper body lines, no crazy waves. You're not seeing the ocean there, but there's definitely some filler present down here. The quarter panel just below that molding to the rocker panel. So some body work was performed there for sure. But again, very, very presentable. Nice interior. Again, this car just pops with this red interior. I presume these are original. I don't know if anyone's reproducing these. These might be original. If not, they're correct replacements to match the original. Nice carpet, which would be correct for the year. We've got seat belts here in the front. Those look like they could be original. That really cool speaker in the center of the back seat. I mean, 3 adults could sit back here, 2 very comfortably, 3 in a pinch, but I certainly wouldn't complain. So this is easily a 5-passenger car. Doors close nicely, line up nicely. Undercarriage of the car is very nice, very clean. Again, not a concourse undercarriage, but very presentable, nothing glaring. I'm gonna get in it, I'm gonna start it up for you. We'll wrap this up. Nice glass. It's got a very strong running engine. I've had this car sitting for a couple days at a time, and it starts right up with no problem. We've got a console with the original owner's manual in there. Ignition switch is over here. Starts right up, it runs nice. Odometer shows 69,646 miles. We make no claim to that being original. I'm thinking it probably is, but I'm not going to say that it is. We're going to sell the car true mileage unknown. This car is being sold with a transferable 2025 Rhode Island registration. This car was purchased in Rhode Island at a time when Rhode Island did not title older vehicles. They just started titling older vehicles in 2024. The gentleman, I think, has owned this car for several years. We've got the registrations going all the way back to the 2016 or so. So this car is grandfathered in. This car was never titled in Rhode Island. Completely legal. The 2025 Rhode Island registration acts as your transfer document. I've done it a million times. there's no issues there at all. But just so you know, there's no title with this car because there wouldn't be. It's a Rhode Island car. So it runs really well. Gas gauge works. The fan for the heater does not work. The heat seems to work, but the fan does not work. All the lights work, the directionals, the windshield wipers work on both speeds, but the dash lights don't work well. They seem extremely dim. I played with the headlight switch a little bit, flickered them on a little bit more, but I'm gonna say that there's probably something in this headlight switch causing the dash lights not to properly illuminate. I want full disclosure there. We got an optional clock. I don't think that was standard, but it might have been on the XL. Nice clean trunk bay in this car. There's pictures of that on my website. It's all been carpeted. Very, very clean back there. Lots of room. This is kind of cool. It took me a minute to figure this out. This is the release for the hood, the Ford emblem. I had to actually Google that. I couldn't figure out how to open the hood. There we go with that 390 V8. Power steering, factory power steering, no power brakes. We've got a single valley master cylinder there. There's a little bit of water in here because I washed the engine this morning. That's all that was. I'll take care of that when I get back to the shop. That's all that is. There's no leaks. It's water because I washed this down. There's a lot of dust in here. Very nice running car, as you can see. Plenty of power to drive. Car runs and drives beautifully. Manual brakes, power steering. Sounds nice. These spinner hubcaps are kind of cool. Like I said, these Uniroyal tires have less than 500 miles on them, including the spare. It's cold out today. This is nothing but just moisture. Sounds nice. See, that just dissipates. It's about 38 degrees today. Not exactly top-down weather. These cars are really cool. They're from a great year, 1963. Unless you were JFK. Unfortunately, we lost JFK that year to that assassination in November. That kind of puts a stain on the whole year of 1963, but also the hula hoop was patented in 1963, and Mary Kay Cosmetics started in 1963. So I tried to find some high points to 1963, other than what most people think of, the assassination of JFK, which of course was very, very unfortunate. Ford built, I think, about 600,000 Galaxies, 500,000 or 600,000 Galaxies in total for 1963. But of that, only about 18,500 or so were convertibles. So that makes this car pretty rare. I love the Corinthian white with the bright red bucket seat interior. Just classic 1960s convertible here for you. Obviously very turnkey. Again, not a show car, but a driver. Orphan Car Garage pricing on this 1963 Galaxie 500 XL is $23,900. $23,900 for this very turnkey convertible. Again, I say it all the time, you couldn't do what's been done to this car as far as the paint work and the interior, the convertible top, the tires. You couldn't do all that for that price. $23,900, Orphan Car Garage pricing. Check this car out on my website. There's a full gallery of photos there, including the undercarriage. My phone number is 508-954-8090. If you need transportation, I can easily handle that. Just send me your zip code. I'll give you a fast quote. Give me a call. Send me a text. I'll do what I can for you in that regard. We do that all the time. Not a big deal. I'll take that right off your hands. It might be less than you think. Finding the perfect car in your backyard isn't always going to happen. So sometimes you buy from me, and I'll ship it to your door. Check out my Google reviews. We've done it many times. People are very pleased with what I do. I try to have full transparency. I welcome third-party inspections. That's never a problem. Or if you want to come out and look at it yourself, I certainly welcome that as well. I love meeting my clients. So again, my name is John. Orphan Car Garage pricing on this Galaxie convertible from 1963 is $23,900. Give me a call, 508-954-8090. Until the next one, we'll see you down the road.